This is the New Eden update for Thursday, February 18th, 2016. I'm Wiggles, and here's a roundup of a few stories from around New Eden. Today we started Crossing Zebras with a post about the cost of leadership. Quote, EVE has a massive player-run organisation that exists both in-game and out. Leaders can have outside personalities and huge impact on the way thousands of players enjoy the game. If we saw such leadership in other sports or hobbies, we wouldn't think twice about it than receiving compensation for their work. But in EVE, this is strongly taboo. What does it mean to have leadership as a hobby at various levels of professionalism? And what would it mean for EVE if we no longer assumed the leadership was done for free? Now the article goes on to talk about the various leadership levels, from free to helping out in your corporation to sort of, a little bit more with saying, chip in for the servers and that. We'll skip to the end where it does say, EVE has long fought against RMT, and some of the biggest scandals of recent years have been around this topic. The rise and fall of Summerblink, game and policy changes that have attacked botting, and the latest swirling accusations around I Want ISK. The mention of real money taint discussions about subscriptions, and for streamers and ad revenues on EVE media sites. Editor's note, I do things by Patreon. Yeah. The very prospect that Matani and the others on top of the Imperium players might get some real money has been enough to bring up the torches and pitchforks. This is as much about the polarising nature of these individuals and the power of the Imperium game in the game. If the Matani had the level of goodwill as Cribber, would he have ever heard people complaining about TMC making money for advertisements? It's a good read up. I'd recommend definitely reading the whole thing and do some constructive comments and feedback. Next we go to our other article of the day at thematani.com for a battle report in the good old system of Head GP. On February 13th, just after 1800 EVE time in the catch system of Head GP, forces of the Soviet Union, the Afterlife and the Losenchia Suliopan, butcher names, and the Initiative engaged Pandemic Legion, Pandemic Horde and Waffles and Spaceship Samurai. The 85 billion ISK engagement lasted for just over 2 hours, running from about 1807 to 2010 EVE time. Pandemic Legion and Horde fielded over 300 pilots flying 50 Typhoons, 80 Feroxes, 94 T3 strategic cruisers, 2 Archons and 3 squads of stealth bombers. The Soviet Union and friends fought back with 217 Typhoons and Tempests, 50 battle cruisers, 60 T3 strategic cruisers and 1 Archon and a 25-man gang Cerberus. Overall, the strategic objective had been won by the Russian group. However, Pandemic Legion and Horde and their friends ran away with the ISK war, destroying 2 times as much as the Russians in terms of ISK killed. Lastly today, we have a forum post from yesterday by CCP Goliath letting players know that Singularity has been updated with some of the March release features, and the mirror was taken from Tranquility on the 15th of February 2016. Elsewhere in EVE-related content, new blog posts are out from Noisy Gamer and Talvor and Dex, but there are no new podcasts out at the moment. Plex prices in the Forge region today are registering an average traded price of 1,199 million ISK so far today, which is down from yesterday's closing average of 1,206 million. The top buy order in GT right now is 1,196 million, and sell orders are starting at 1,208 million. Skill extractors today are trading at 284 million ISK, which is up slightly from yesterday's average of 283. The buying is starting at 279 for extractors, and sellers are starting at 284. Injectors, however, are trading massively up from yesterday at 638 million ISK, which yesterday's average was 612. Buying is starting at 623 million ISK and selling is starting at 631 million ISK. For more market and trade information, you can check out the EVE Prosper Market Show that is broadcast at 0300 tonight at EVE time on Twitch. So Thursday night for the US, Friday morning for the EU zones. Thank you to the people who have chosen to support us on Patreon and have decided they get some value from this show, and also TotalEve.com and decided to give a little bit back. As always, you can go to patreon.com/wiggles to find out about how you can support the show. And I understand that not everyone can support via Patreon, and I do, as I said, I understand that. And I always remind you that you can always tell people about the show, which helps out immensely, whether we do it live like we do now on Twitch and YouTube, which I'm doing today as a test, or listening to it later in post or on a podcast form. You can find out about all the ways to support the show at newedenupdate.com/support. As I said before, broadcast is live on Twitch, and I'm trying YouTube as well today, dual streaming, to see what it goes like. And then obviously we record it and post it as a podcast. So if you do have any feedback, please let us know in the comments on the show post. Thank you. This has been the New Eden Update for today, Thursday, February 18th, 2016. You can leave comments in the show notes, in the show blog and show notes at newedenupdate.com, or you can send us a tweet at New Eden Update. I also encourage you to check out all the latest headlines, podcasts, blog posts and other information on toadleave.com. You can drop us an email, feedback at newedenupdate.com as well. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Wiggles and thank you for listening.